What if I told you the world's first banks were not built by businessmen, but by priests? Long before Wall Street, long before credit cards, long before money even had numbers, temples controlled the world's wealth. People prayed at the front and deposited their savings at the back. Your faith wasn't spiritual, it was financial, because in the ancient world, the gods didn't just demand worship. They managed your money. And the truth is, the modern banking system you use today was born inside a temple thousands of years ago. The first vaults. The year is 3000 BCE. Civilization is young. There are no banks, no ATMs, no credit cards, no currency notes. But people still have wealth: grain, gold, silver, animals, and precious goods. Where do they store it? Not at home, too risky. Not in the palace, too political. Not in markets, too public. They store it in temples. Because temples were the only places considered truly safe. Thick stone walls, guarded chambers, trusted priests. And above all, fear of the gods. To steal from a temple wasn't just a crime, it was a curse. And so the first vaults, the first safes, the first security systems were not banks. They were sacred buildings. Temples became the earliest financial institutions, managing deposits, protecting wealth, and recording transactions. Just like banks today, priests become bankers. As deposits grew, temples took the next step. They began issuing receipts. A farmer who left 100 sacks of grain received a clay tablet. Temple guarantees 100 sacks in storage. This tablet could be traded, exchanged, even used as payment. People began using these tablets like money. For the first time in human history, paper money existed without paper. Priests realized something powerful. When people trust you, you don't need metal. You only need belief. That's when temples quietly did what modern banks still do today. They loaned out the stored wealth. The world's first loans were made not by merchants, but by priests in robes, sitting in candlelit rooms, calculating grain interest by hand. Temples charged interest rates, storage fees, penalties, and service charges. Sound familiar? Your modern bank didn't invent banking, it inherited it. The invention of interest. The oldest interest document ever discovered? Not from Wall Street, not from the Rothschilds, not from Europe. It's from Mesopotamia, from a temple. Interest rates were brutal, 20%, sometimes even 33%. A farmer who borrowed grain had to return much more. If he couldn't, he didn't lose his credit score. He lost his freedom. Debt wasn't an inconvenience. Debt was slavery. Entire families were forced to work in temples to repay loans they could never escape. And that's the hidden truth. The world's first EMIs didn't take money. They took people. Gods as guarantors. Today, we sign loan agreements. Back then, people swore before the gods. A loan contract would read, "If this borrower fails, may the gods strike him, his land, and his household." Imagine taking a home loan today and the banker saying, "Repay, or God will punish you." This spiritual fear gave temples absolute power. They controlled grain, gold, land, taxes, labor, entire economies. Temples weren't holy places. They were headquarters of wealth, just like central banks today. The first financial collapse. Then something went wrong. A drought hit Mesopotamia. Crops failed. People couldn't repay grain loans. Suddenly, the temples realized they didn't have enough grain in storage. They had loaned out too much. People rushed to withdraw their deposits, but the vaults were empty. The first bank run in history didn't happen in New York. It happened inside a temple 3,500 years ago. Temples collapsed. Priests lost power. Families lost savings. Sound familiar? Modern parallel. Today, banks still lend out your deposits, issue receipts, charge interest, create money from nothing, collapse when people panic. Different architecture, same logic. Different systems, same formula. Banks replaced temples. Bankers replaced priests. But the financial rituals never changed. Your loan today, your EMI today, your interest rate, your storage fee, your service charge, your late fee. It's all ancient. We didn't innovate banking. We renamed it. Closing. The world's first bankers wore robes, not suits. The first vaults were temples, not skyscrapers. The first interest was grain, not digits. The first loan was a prayer, not a signature. But the system never changed. Only the buildings did. Because banking isn't about money, it's about trust. And the moment trust breaks, the system collapses. Ancient or modern, temple or bank, priest or banker, the rules are the same, and numbers never lie. This is Ancient Finance, where we uncover the system older than money itself.